Hello my friends, Paul here in the RoJoBe Music Workshop, compact workshop. Okay, so welcome to part 2 of the Bowlback Mandolin neck reset. Okay, so in the first episode I'd obviously introduced the project, the instrument and what I'm going to do, and proceeded to make my piece of apparatus to help me remove the neck. Namely a kettle with a tube and a fine nozzle, if you like, on the end. And I said that I was going to test it to see if we had any things that I needed to tweak on it. Well, I did find a couple of things. Let me just move the camera across a bit and show you what things I did to basically improve it. Wait a minute, let me just... Okay, so... Yeah, it's not the best angle. Let me just zoom in a touch. Okay, so yeah, so I tested it. I think we've got a focus problem because of that wire there. Okay. So I put it on the hot plate, got it all heated up, and was just checking to see if we had any issues. And I said that the lid might hold a little bit of pressure. Well, there was I would say a majority of the steam was actually leaking out around the edge of the lid. So as you can see, I've just put some tape around it, which again will not withstand high pressure, so if it does build up, that will just pop loose. So I've just got some electrical tape or insulating tape just around the lid, just to stop the steam all coming out of there. And once I did that, then we had a lot of the steam escaping from around this cap, lid, whatever you call it. So as you can see, I've put I don't know if you can see, let me zoom in a touch more. Oh, wrong way. So I've put the rubber bands on here, just around the handle there and kind of around this, just to hold it down a bit firmer. But it's still, it still will come up if the pressure builds up. It's just to hold it down a little bit so that we didn't have all the steam escaping from around here. So there seems to be no leaks around here where I've got the pipe joined on. Or down here where it actually goes in through the spout nozzle lid cap thing. So that all seemed pretty good. But the other thing is the actual pipe itself, because of the length of it, by the time, it's at least 1 meter long, by the time the steam had travelled up the pipe and come all the way out and out of the end, it was cooling and basically was just dribbling out as lukewarm water. Well, that's obviously not going to do the trick. So I've shortened the tube pipe, cut it in half basically, so it's sort of 50 centimeters long or so, and that's helped. So once I'd done that and then re-clamped the nozzle in the end, tested it again, and once it gets up to temperature, the steam comes out of the nozzle at the end here, at the end and at the side. So it all seems to be working as it should do now. So now it is time to start to try to remove this neck using this piece of apparatus. So I've got it sitting on the hot plate, and I've got the hot plate sitting on one of these, what would you call these, cutting mat or something like that, because this here is foam rubber, and if it gets too hot, because the whole hot plate gets pretty hot even underneath, and I was just a bit worried about it melting this, so I've got this underneath it. That should protect that pretty well. Just got a little bit of a cloth here. If there's any drips that come down, that'll just land on the cloth there. So I am ready now to start doing this job. So let me just turn the camera around a bit more to my work area. hold on, let me just, okay, probably need to zoom in a touch. It's not really on the best angle for you to see what I'm doing, but I have got the headstock clamped in this vise, not tightly, and I've got, you know, some cloth around it to protect it. I've just got it sort of nipped up in this vise to hold it still while I'm drilling the holes, and that's working pretty well. That's holding it all nice and still, and I know that because you can't actually see it, but I've already drilled 2 of the holes, the upper 2. I did that off camera, just to see, you know, to make sure it was doing what I wanted it to do. So let me just try and move in a little bit. Yeah, it could do with being a touch. And let me just raise the camera up a bit, but then it's going to be. Wait 1 second. I wonder if that's going to be a bit better. Okay. Sorry, I should have done this beforehand. Right, so let me just angle down a little bit, like that. Okay, oops. Okay, so I'll just zoom in. Okay, just a touch more. Okay. Right. Let me just tilt down a tiny bit, not that much. Okay. Right, so yeah, so you can probably see now I've got the 2 upper holes drilled already. And because of the angle of the neck, you can't really see it, but at the back it tapers upwards. And you know, because this is a dovetail joint, it will be tapered, but I have no way of knowing what the exact angle is, you know, sort of up and down and side to side. But I've kind of followed the back part of the neck here for the angle up and down, as it were, and I've kind of tapered inwards as well, sort of in towards the center a little bit. And I used my hand drill for a few reasons. First of all, you know, it's much slower and therefore less aggressive, and you know, I've got full control over the speed and angle and everything else. And also being a hand drill as opposed to, you know, a power drill, I get much more feedback through this, you know, through the thing, to feel what's going on when I'm drilling the holes. And you know, because it's important obviously that I don't go right the way through the neck or the body and out the back, you know, because that would be a complete disaster. So I need to feel where the drill is going, the drill bit is going when I'm going in. And I get a lot more, you know, feedback from using this hand drill. So I'm now going to start to drill the bottom 2 holes in these 2 corners. I'm going to zoom back out. And again, I have to try to sort of guess really the angle, you know, that it tapers up or down, and you know, inwards. So it's very much hit and miss, you know. I can't really be sure of the exact angle that it's going because I can't see it. So I've got to guess and feel, and you know, hopefully get somewhere in the ballpark. So before I do that, I'm going to switch the hot plate on to get that kettle warming up. Should have done that a minute ago actually. Right, so I'm now going to start to drill, or try to drill these holes, like I said, kind of guessing what the angle will be, and hopefully I'll get it right. Right, so here we go with the first one. Yeah, so I can feel now that that sort of gave a little bit, so I am in the cavity, as it were. Yeah, that feels just right. Good. When I did these top two, I didn't really get too much feeling for that, but this one I definitely did, so it looks as though I'm on the right angle for that. And that's definitely deep enough. Just go in one more time just to clear out the debris. Yeah, that feels really good actually. Right, I'll just test fit that nozzle in there. It should go in there pretty good. Yep, perfect. Okay, so now I'll try the one the other side. Hopefully get that as right as well. Yep, there it goes. I felt that give again. So I think I got it right. Okay, so I'll just ease back out. Okay, I'll go in one more time to clear out the debris. Yeah, definitely much better using this hand drill. I really got the feedback from that, so I could feel where it was, it was going in the right direction, right angle. Okay, so yeah, I definitely should have turned that hot plate on a bit sooner because it does take a little while to heat up. But I think we're good. So I'm going to start with, this nozzle. I'm going to start at the top two here and then do these after. I'm going to start with these top two and just, get some heat and moisture in there for a couple of minutes or so, and then start to kind of wiggle the neck, hold the body still and wiggle the neck to see if I can start to get it just to give a little bit, start to break loose, around the top edge. And if that seems to go, then I'll do the bottom two and wiggle the neck again, and hopefully break the seal at the bottom part there, the bottom of the dovetail. How well it's going to go, I'm not too sure yet. And yeah, so like I said, I've literally just got to wait for this to heat up, and it's going to take a little while. I should have put it on sooner, never mind. So I'm fairly confident that this will go pretty well. As I said, I have done a repair on this before, so this neck has only been glued in place for a few months as opposed to 50 years as it was before. So hopefully, because the glue is fresher, hopefully it should break free relatively problem free, but we will see. So yeah, I don't think it's going to put up too much of a fight because, like I said, it's effectively it's quite a recent joint, albeit it is very tight and precise. But using this method, drilling the holes and getting the nozzle in there, that should get us to where we want to be. Right, so just bear with me for 1 second. That kettle is starting to heat up now. Right, so it should only be a couple of minutes until that's warm enough. Right, okay, yeah, it is starting to warm up. It's going to be a little while before we get any steam here. Yeah, the pipe itself isn't even warm yet, so dum da da dum da da dum 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 dum. Dum da da dum dum. I just want to test fit the nozzle in all of these holes just to make sure it goes in nicely. That one's fine. That one's fine. Yeah. Okay, they're all good. You know, I don't want to drill the holes too big. I don't want to leave big gaps there that I've got to fill in later. I mean, I will have to anyway, but I want to do as little as possible of that. So I made the holes as small as possible while still having this nozzle fit in and a little bit of, literally a little bit of wiggle room, so that it's not, you know, airtight, because that's the last thing you want. So it does, you know, it goes in there with a little bit of wiggle room, so we should be fine. Yeah, so they'll just got to wait for this to heat up. A little bit of forward planning next time. How are we doing for time? Wow, really? That went fast. I've a feeling actually this let me talk to the camera. I've a feeling this hot plate might not be quite good enough, because it is smaller than the kettle itself, and it seems to take a bit longer than it should do to get up to temperature. And once the water in the kettle is hot, it seems to be not quite, well, it is boiling, but it's sort of on the verge between simmering and boiling. So I'm not sure it even really gets quite hot enough. But having said that, it does produce steam out of the end of the nozzle, so it's doing what it needs to do. And you know, if it got too hot, you know, it could be a little more dangerous, if you like. So it probably is fine as it is. I do wish it was slightly bigger, so that the kettle would sit on the hot plate rather than effectively around it. But it seems to be doing the job as well as it needs to do, so I think we're okay. And as I said in the first episode, the other two mandolins I have, the Bowlback mandolins, one of the others does appear to have the same problem with the neck angle, and so that's going to need a neck reset as well. And the other one of the three again seems to have the same problem, but seems to, well, it does have a twist to the neck. And as I said, that's going to be a little bit more of a job to sort that out. And you know, I am going to remove the fretboard to get a better look at what's going on, and help me to, you know, decide what is the best way forward. Because a neck twist, it's a problem. It really is. Because I mean, many people say that you should try to use methods to, you know, to use heat and steam and stuff to, you know, and press the neck back straight, you know, in some kind of clamp pressing mechanism or whatever, and it will work. But the problem is, wood gets a memory. So, you know, if a piece of wood is bent or twisted or whatever, bowed, yeah, you probably can straighten it to a degree, using, you know, heat and pressure, but it's only going to do so much. It's, you know, it's only going to have a certain amount of effect. And you know, because wood gets a memory, it more than likely is just going to spring back to where it was before, especially once it's under tension with the strings. So that I don't use those methods. They just don't work. Other people can argue as much as they want, yeah, it's the way to go. It's not. It doesn't work, because, you know, if you know, a neck is twisted or bowed, that's the position it likes to be in. And you know, all of the bending and twisting back the opposite way that you do isn't going to make any difference. It's just going to come back to where it was before. So it's probably going to be a case of maybe a combination of, you know, planing and or rasping filing, possibly even put an extra piece of wood in and then shape it. I honestly don't know yet, until I get around to taking the fretboard off and see what we're up against. Right, so this is almost up to temperature now. We're almost there. It's definitely getting hot, but there's no steam coming out the end of the nozzle yet, but it won't be long. It's almost there. Yeah, I can feel air coming out of there. So, and the pipe itself, even up to here, is pretty hot. So we're almost there. Ah! Don't want that squirting all over me. Right, there's a lot of water coming out of there, a bit too much really, but as the water boils and evaporates, that will die down, and I can feel the heat coming out of there now. So let me just place that down, get the camera back to where we were, and we'll make a start. Zoom in. Okay, let's see how we go. Right, so like I said, I'm going to start by putting my gloves on because that's really hot. And I'm going to have a bit of kitchen roll to hand just to wipe up any excess moisture from the instrument itself. You don't want too much. Okay, put the glove on. Right. Okay, so let's make a start, see how we go. Is that steam coming out of there? Yes, it is. You can't really see it, but trust me, there is steam coming out of there. And a bit too much water, but there you go. Right, so into this hole. As I said, I'll just make sure I'm wiping up the excess moisture as well. Now, that's actually gone quite tight, and I think I know why that's happened. It's because of the heat and the moisture. It's making the wood swell a little bit, so I'll have to be a bit careful with that. I mean, there's no reason why I can't run the drill through it again just to open that up. Okay, so while I'm just going to take this out of the vise so that I can kind of work that neck while this steam and moisture is on the go. Just start to sort of kind of try to start wiggling it. You can't see what I'm doing, can you? Zoom back out a little bit. So while that pipe's in there, I'm just kind of wiggling the neck just to try and get it to start moving. Oh, way too much moisture there. Don't want that. I'm not quite sure if that's starting to move yet. I think it is. It feels like it's giving a little bit. think it might be starting to go. Yeah, unfortunately the light isn't very good in here either. It's making it a little bit difficult for you to see what I'm doing. Right, I'm going to put it in the bottom holes now. Using the same procedure, just let the moisture and heat get in there for a minute or so. Then change to the other side, start to wiggle it, see if we can get any movement. Keep that moisture down to a minimum on the outside, because being hot water as well, it could, you know, it could cause a problem with the finish. So I'm going to make sure I'm not leaving too much moisture on there anywhere. There we go. Yeah, that's gone a bit tight as well, so I'm just going to run the drill through that one as well. And actually, that's interesting. The water is bubbling up out of this hole. So it is going down into that hole, through the joint and back up this side. Well, that's good to an extent. Okay, I don't know if you can see that, but that's already loose. Excellent. Let me just take that out for a second, because that might even pop loose right now. So close. It's moving really well. There we go. Boom! Out she comes. Well, okay, that went a lot better than I thought. Let me just turn that hot plate off now, because it's not needed anymore. Excellent. Okay. Right, 1 second, I'll just put the camera back where I want it. Whoops, I'm zooming in. Right, sorry, bear with me a sec. Great, well, there you go. That's come out really nicely. And one thing I can see, well, I don't know if you can, the light in here is awful. Let me just turn it around that way a bit. Okay, so I don't know if you can see, but there's kind of a groove down there where the drill bit went, so I was pretty close there. And the same that side as well. Quite difficult to see, but there is a decent groove down both sides, so I got the drill bit in pretty much the right place. It did go a little bit into the neck itself, a tiny bit, but better that than actually better that than into the body of the instrument. And yeah, down here you can see there's kind of a groove on that corner edge, and the same there. So I managed to get the drill bit to go in exactly the right place, within, you know, 0.5 millimeter each way. So I'm pretty happy with that. That's gone pretty well. So the neck itself, oh God, this light is awful. So that's come out really, really nicely. You can see there's glue all over it. Which will obviously have to be cleaned up, but that's come out beautifully. Let's check the instrument itself, and again I wish I could get some better light on this. It's terrible light. I'm going to have to sort out this lighting situation at some point. I'll definitely do that for the next video, because this is terrible. But yeah, again, it's really come out nicely. And that's going to be nice and easy to work with. Okay, so that's come out really, really well, really nicely. Very, very happy with that. Yeah, it didn't fight me anywhere near as much as I thought it would, which is perhaps not necessarily a good thing, because well, it is and it isn't, because, you know, obviously I didn't want to be fighting with this for an hour and a half, first of all, but the fact that it came out relatively easily means perhaps the joint wasn't as strong as it could have been, and that was why you know, it started to sort of pull forward out of the body. So the first thing I need to do before I do anything else is clean out all of the glue from around the neck dovetail joint and inside the, you know, the body, the cavity in the body as well. Got to clean up all the glue before I do anything else, but I'm not going to do that until this wood has fully dried, because, you know, using that heat and the moisture, that will have made the wood really soft. And if I start to try and scrape off the glue now with it like that, I'm going to pull chunks of wood out. So I'm going to leave this overnight at least to fully dry. I'm not going to use anything to try and speed up the drying. I'll let it dry naturally. There's not a great deal of moisture on there, but you can possibly see that the wood is, you know, a little bit dark in places where it's absorbed the water. You're not going to see it so well in there, but we've got the same thing going on in there. You know, where the wood has kind of absorbed the water a bit, and you know, it will have made it really soft. So I'm not going to scrape off any of the glue yet. I'm going to leave this whole thing now overnight at least. I say at least because tomorrow for me is the weekend, and we tend to be quite busy, so I might not even get round to this at the weekend. I don't know yet, depends what time I have free. So that part of it went really well. I'm really happy with it, and you know, like I said, the next part is to remove all the glue and, you know, tidy everything up, and if any wood does chip out, I can glue it back in place and just make sure everything's good. Then once that is done, I'll place the neck back in and see if there's any, you know, kind of wiggle room, what I can do to make any adjustments, whether or not I need to shave a tiny bit of wood off the dovetail joint to get it to come back. I don't know yet until I've removed the glue. I have a feeling that I won't need to do much at all, really. Perhaps what I will do, I'm not sure yet, is, you know, when I put the neck back in, I will put a very slim shim or wedge in here between this part and the neck, and that should help to tilt it back. But I honestly don't know, you know, what I'll be doing yet and how, and I obviously need to make sure that it's a good strong joint, because you can see, you know, there's not much gluing surface around the top here or inside the neck pocket. There isn't much gluing surface, so I've got to make sure that the surfaces meet really well, really flat, so that there's no, you know, gaps or anything anywhere, to get a really good joint. But like I said, I've got to wait for the whole thing to dry, scrape off all the glue, and then see where we are. So I probably won't film scraping the glue off. That's not very exciting. But once I have done that, I'll then, you know, make a new recording for part 3, which will be, you know, seeing where we are with the neck and the pocket and what we need to do to get the right angle for reinserting the neck. So that will be part 3, and that will be coming next Saturday, because now I'm uploading all of these project videos on a Saturday. I was originally uploading them Saturday and Wednesday, but first of all, I didn't get as many views on a Wednesday, and secondly, I'm not doing as many projects now, so I need to kind of spread it out and hopefully build up some anticipation for the next episode. Okay, so like I said, once this is dried, I'm off camera, I'm gonna, you know, remove all the glue, clean it all up, and then see where we're at, and then that will be going into part 3. So, hope you're enjoying this little project so far as much as I am. I love doing these projects. You know, it's quite tricky work, but I really enjoy doing it, especially when, you know, you get to the end result and everything is resolved. Okay, so part 3 coming soon. In the meantime, please look after yourselves, look after each other. We will see you soon. Peace out.